What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Zero Lab. Today we're going to be looking at more TCG Pocket, and we're going to be taking a look at an Articuno Greninja deck. Articuno is a very strong attacker in TCG Pocket, has the Ice Wing attack for 40 for 2 energies, and then Blizzard for 3 energies, does 80 damage to your opponent's active, and then does 10 more damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. We also have the Misty supporter card in here to power up that Articuno, so you choose one of your water Pokemon and flip a coin until you get tails. And for each heads, you take a water energy and attach it to that Pokemon. So great energy acceleration there. And then we have a 2/2/2 Greninja line in here. And Greninja has a very strong ability with that Water Shuriken ability. Once during your turn, you may do 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So extra damage modification from that Greninja. Doesn't have too bad of an attack either. Miss Slash can do 60. But really we're here for that Water Shuriken attack. Along with that bench damage from the Articuno, we can do a lot of fancy things moving damage counters around in this matchup, or in this deck, against our opponents. And then just at a glance for the rest of the deck list, we have 2 Potion, 2 X Speeds, 2 Pokeballs, a red card, 2 Research, 2 Misty, Giovanni as well. So we're going to jump into some games here and see how we can do on the ladder here. I'm going to change our deck over to that Articuno Greninja deck and enter our battle here. Articuno is just a very fun card, Greninja is a very fun card, and Misty is one of the strongest energy acceleration cards in the game. Obviously, it's our supporter for turn, and obviously it's on a coin flip, but it is still very strong. Going second here, starting out with that Froakie. We do have Misty in hand, but we don't really want to use Misty on our Froakies. We want to save Misty for our Articunos, so hopefully we can find a way to draw into our Articunos. Looks like our opponent is also playing Articuno, so that is interesting. They're going to Pokeball here. Going down with another Articuno. Now it's our turn. We draw into the Greninja. That's all right because we have the Frogadier, but so we have that full evolution line now in hand, but sadly did not find an Articuno EX. So we're just going to flop there on our turn, see what our opponent is able to do. They're playing that Pokedex, so they get to look at the top 3 cards of their deck. See if they have the Misty. If they flip double heads on Misty, they could Blizzard us for game on this turn. Looks like just an attachment for turn here, though, and maybe a pass. Nope, gonna hand scope us. So our opponent gets to take a look at our hand here. Pretty good hand aside from the fact that we don't have Articuno. And just pass over to us. Another Frogadier coming into hand. We're gonna evolve into that Frogadier, attach an energy, and then all we can do is Water Drip for 30 and hope for the best. If our opponent does find a Misty, we could, this could be the end of the game. We would really, really love to find an Articuno EX on this turn. Potion, probably not going to do it for us, but we will evolve. Come on, evolve into the Greninja. Well, Potion does save another turn for us, so that's good. We're just going to attach, because why not? And then Water Shuriken, we're going to do 20 to this active Articuno EX. And then Miss Slash for 60. So we're actually not in a terrible spot. We just really need to find an Articuno or just another basic Pokemon. They are going to be able to Blizzard this turn, but then we'll be able to Water Shuriken for the knockout as long as they don't have a Potion. But we really need to get our own Articuno EX out. They are starting to load up that benched Articuno EX. Hand scope from our opponent. Not much going on in our hand. Ice Wing gonna do 40, that puts us down to 60. And there's our research, so we are doing all right. We just really need to draw into an Articuno, and there it is. Articuno EX coming down on our side of the board. We're going to attach an energy to it. We are going to Water Shuriken our opponent's active Articuno EX for the knockout, and then be able to Mist Slash into their bench Articuno EX to do 60. Now we're in a pretty good spot. I'm going to play this X-Speed and Potion just to not have them anymore. We don't necessarily need them, and if our opponent were to like red card us, we just don't want to have these cards in our hand anymore. Might not be the wisest thing to red card our opponent, but we basically have game in hand as long as we hit heads with the Misty. And our opponent's just going to concede there. So a pretty slow start for us, but you can see with that extra damage from the Greninja's ability, we were able to take knockout during our turn with that ability and still attack. So we were able to knock out one Pokemon on our turn and attack into another Pokemon on the same turn, which is just really cool and happens quite a bit with this deck as you start to spread damage counters with that Articuno EX. Jumping into another game here, we will see what our opponent is playing and whether or not we go first or second. Looks like we are going first. And we start an Articuno this time. We have Research in hand. I'd like to get into a Froakie so we can evolve it on our following turn. It looks like we're going up against Charizard now. Normally you might think this could be a pretty good matchup because of the type weaknesses. However, the Charizard just does so much damage, we can't even one-shot it with Blizzard. We can one-shot it if we are able to Blizzard and use the Greninja's ability in one turn. That it would, well, no, we can't. Yeah, we can't one-shot the Charizard and it just one-shots us. Sorry, sometimes I still think that weakness is double damage, like it is in the trading card game regularly, but it is not. They do end up red carding us into a Misty there though, so that's really good. And we'll see if they're even able to get any benched Pokemon down here to Inferno Dance too, but it looks like they're not able to. So we're gonna Misty here. If we can hit double heads and Blizzard on this turn, that would be great. Nope, just a Tails. That always seems to be how it goes with Misty. And we're just gonna attach and pass to our opponent as well. We do have the Giovanni in hand. I'm not going to use it on this turn, but Ice Wing into Blizzard with a Giovanni boosting that Blizzard damage. Oh, it's still not enough. Yeah, we can't we can't even two-shot this Moltres between an Ice Wing and a Blizzard, sadly. Now they're going to be Inferno Dancing to this Charmander. See how many heads they hit. Might be a little bit of insult to injury here if they get a bunch of heads after we flipped Tails on our Misty. But they flipped 3 Tails. Wow, what an unlucky game for both of us so far. We do find our Froakie, and then we're going to attach to this Articuno, and we're just going to Ice Wing here for 40. Obviously Moltres EX, Fire type, but it is weak to Lightning, because it is that bird. Despite being a Fire type, it is not weak to Water. So our opponent could Heat Blast here, which would be unfortunate, but then they wouldn't have any energies on their Charmeleon, so they kind of have to Inferno Dance. But if they do Heat Blast, excuse me, that could put us in a tough position because it two-shots our Articuno, but they're actually gusting up our Froakie and Heat Blasting it. So now no energies on their Charmeleon, and we're going to be able to Blizzard on this turn. So that puts us in a pretty good spot, actually, I think. We're going to start out with Pokeball, see what we get. We might get our other Articuno, or we might get our Froakie. Got a 50-50 shot at either. It is the Froakie. Then we are going to Research here. We get our other Articuno and a potion. That's nice. And we're just going to Blizzard here. A few of our opponents played both red cards now and both their research. So that's good to know. Energy attachment coming down onto that Charmander. And Inferno Dance. Let's hope it's a lot of tails again. They did not evolve this turn, which means they didn't have the Charizard in hand. Alright, 2 tails, that is really good for us. That means they're not going to have the 4 energy next turn, even if they do find the Charizard. We're going to evolve into Frogadier here. We're going to bench Articuno. Let's see here. We'll attach to Articuno. I was considering red carding, but they don't have they didn't have the Charizard last turn. I don't want to red card them into it. They don't have any draw power either because they've used both of their research. So we're just hoping that they don't draw into the Charizard here. There is the Charizard. So you're going to be able to slash for 60, and then on the following turn they have that Crimson Storm. They are going to be able to heal up that damage that we did with the Blizzard as well. So we're in a pretty tough spot here. We need to get some draws going. We need to get Greninja out. There's the Greninja. I'm going to red card here. Attach to the bench Articuno. X speed. Retreat out of Articuno. Into the Greninja. And then Water Shuriken here. Obviously, they can two-shot us with the Slash. That gives us a little bit of time to start getting some things done. We red carded them because we don't want them to get Sabrina. If they have the Sabrina, they just win here with the Crimson Storm. And there's the Sabrina. Alright, so our opponent was able to get there with the Charizard EX. Obviously, very strong card. Crimson Storm, just being able to knock out anything in the game right now, once it's powered up, is super duper strong. So losing game 1 there to the Charizard EX deck. We'll go into a second game here with the Articuno. Alright, jumping into game 2. We are going first again. We have Frogadier, and Greninja all in hand, and a research. So that's pretty good. Obviously, we want to find a Misty and an Articuno EX for next turn. So we're going to research, hope to draw into some good cards there. We'll see what our opponent is playing. We are playing a Lightning deck. That is pretty tough because all of our Pokemon are weak to Lightning. So, starting off with a research. Pokeball and Misty. Can Pokeball find us the Articuno? It can. Very nice. And we will just end our turn there. See what our opponent's able to put together. They're doing 40 to our Froakie with this Blitzel, which is unfortunate for us. We do have Potion. Gonna evolve into Frogadier. We're gonna Misty onto the Articuno. Dang. Potion the Frogadier. We're gonna hope that they don't have the Blitzel evolution. That would be really unfortunate for us. Obviously they can do 40 to us again, but I'm not too worried about that. I wanted to get that damage in play. Do have the Zebstrika. But that... Oh, the Zebstrika does not knock us out. Which is nice. They do heal off some damage there. Hopefully we can hit double heads on Misty. Get a Blizzard going next turn to knock out that Zebstrika. They do the damage to our Articuno. Alright, let's see what Misty can do for us this time. Let's get a couple heads here. 1 heads, 2 heads, no! So close. We'll attach there. Evolve into Greninja. We will get the knockout here on that Zebstrika by using Water Shuriken. Oh wait, we attached for turn to our Articuno, so we're not going to be able to Mist Slash here. But I think we're just fine with that. Now they have the Pikachu EX. That is going to put us in a tough spot. Obviously, again, all our guys are weak to lightning, so these lightning attackers are very strong for our opponent in this matchup. We're going to Water Shuriken onto the Zapdos. Attach for turn to Articuno. X speed. And retreat out of our Greninja. Now we can Blizzard, spreading that damage around our opponent's board. Now a Blizzard plus a Water Shuriken knocks out our opponent's Zapdos. But our opponent's Zapdos could knock us out, depending on how many heads they flip on this Thundering Hurricane. Zapdos, a very strong attacker, obviously based on coin flips, but can do up to 200 damage if you hit 4 heads. 1 heads. 2 heads, and that's going to be enough because of the weakness. So there goes our Articuno EX. And we're just down to hoping our Greninja can survive. We are 10 damage short with this Giovanni. Unfortunate. We just have to cross our fingers and hope our opponent flips 3 tails. Alright, what are we waiting for? And the coin flips come down. Are we safe? Do we win? Tails. Heads. Tails. Heads. No, we were so close. Just needed that last heads to be a tails and we could have won. But yeah, the lightning matchups are definitely tough for this deck. Also, our Misties weren't super kind to us that game. All right, jumping into a third one here. Let's see if we can show off the power of the Greninja here. Going second this time. We do open the Misty, so we could potentially get a Blizzard off turn 1. If our Misty's nice to us. Opponent playing Mewtwo. See if they're playing it with the Ralts, Kirlia, and Gardevoir. I would assume they are. That is definitely the best way to power up the Mewtwo. But it's also a great place for us to spread damage counters with Greninja. One Ralt's coming down. And probably just a pass from our opponent. Alright. Start with the Misty. Can we get the double heads? No, Misty, why? Tails every time. Bench the Froakie, and we'll just pass. Our opponent has the Kirlia evolution. Attach for turn. Pass back over to us. There's a Giovanni that's not doing too much for us right now, so I'm going to hold on to that and we're just going to Ice Wing. If we could have found a Frogadier here on that turn, we could have used the Greninja's ability plus Giovanni next turn to hit 110 with our Blizzard. They do have the Gardevoir just in hand. Oh, that Misty really did us bad. If we could have at least Blizzarded this turn, not even turn 1, we'd be in a much better spot. But now that they've got that Gardevoir, we are in a pretty tough spot if we don't draw into something good here. Most likely just going to be a Psychic Sphere. Yep, there it is. 50 onto our Articuno. There's another Froakie. That's not going to help. Going to have to just Blizzard here. And that is probably going to be game because we didn't find the Frogadier. If we top deck the Frogadier, we can knock out the Never mind, they got the potion. Yeah, so that is definitely game. We're just going to concede. Alright, so an unfortunate few draws in this video for the Articuno deck, but the combination of the Articuno spread plus the Greninja spread can be very, very strong, and it's a very fun deck to play when you draw a little bit better. Hit a few more heads on your Misties. That can be a lot of fun. So hopefully you found this video informative. Hopefully, you know, if you're a Greninja fan, this is probably the best way to play Greninja. So hopefully this helped. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.